What's up, everybody? It's Julian. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this crazy casual grabbers modern Frenchcore stuff. To go along with this video, you can get the full template. Everything you just heard in the intro of this video is available at the top of the description on my website. Definitely make sure to go grab that. It's the best thing you can do today to make a sick Frenchcore track like this. Thank you so much for the support, everybody. Every little bit helps, and let's dive in. Alright, so we're up at 180 BPM, pretty hard. First thing we got going is our Frenchcore kick. So, we got 4 layers. It starts with this just main kick. So yeah, this is one of these like psytrance kind of kicks. The ones where it has the really hard punch at the start, and then you can see it kind of like fattens up, right? And you get the bass, but it's very short as well. When you're getting really fast and like it's hitting super hard at 180 BPM, even though you think you want something very heavy, you actually kind of want something like this to sort of stabilize it, because it's just going to give it a nice steady punch when you're going so fast. If you have one of those crazy hard hitting kind of like hard style kicks or something, it can kind of mess it up, especially with the other layers that we're going to do. But then we got this. So this is just the same kick. It's kind of like what I was talking about in that video the other day, where, you know, we're just using the same kick to make a layer, right? I got this like low pass a little bit, and then we're distorting it, but we're just taking the highs. So you put it with the other one, and it's kind of making it click a bit more. So then we got the bass line part of this. So the way we're creating the bass line is it's a 909 kick, right? Of course, classic GABBERZ stuff here. Nothing that hasn't been done before. So it's this 909 I have. You can see I actually got rid of like the transient since we really just wanted the bass. It's just this long 909. I high passed it a little bit, and then we're distorting it. If you don't high pass it, you can see it's not quite as sharp, the distortion, so that helps just to do a little bit of that. Then we're side chaining that to the main kick and cutting a little bit more sub, and then also just cutting out some of that like kind of sharp high end. And then we have one more layer, which is like the talk. Right? These are pretty popular with these kind of like Frenchcore hardstyle kicks. All these, especially nowadays, these are used a lot. So what you're going to want to do is you have your kick. And then so you sort of build this as its own thing on top of it. I think when you hear this whole kick, it can kind of seem a bit daunting, because it's like, well, how are you going to make something where it has the punch of the side kick and the talk, right? But the answer is you're just going to make them so that they fit together, and then it'll become one thing. So I'm making this with Operator. It's just playing the same MIDI that all the other kicks are doing, and it's a sine wave. So if I turn off the effects, just to show you what it sounds like coming out of the synth. So the sound's pretty much there, right? What we're doing is it's a sine wave with a pitch envelope. So I'll turn off the filter. So we got like that. The pitch envelope, the shape of this is how you're going to create this. Right? Because you really want that like right at the start, high pitch, and then it kind of holds, but you still can tell that it's going down. Then we got our low pass filter. There's no envelope. It's just set like that with a high resonance. And then we're using the hard shaper to make it kind of, you know. Then we have a really short reverb, which you can barely hear, right? But then you distort it even more, and that comes out. And then we're just high passing it so that it'll fit on top of everything. Then there's a bit of group processing, so I'll turn that off just to show you. And then with it, right? So we're using a little bit of overdrive. It's really just like adding a bit more punch. It's only at 25%, so it's not doing too much, but it does add kind of like a bit of glue to this as well. We are cutting some more sub and then converting the bass to mono, so it'll be really clean and the mastering will be clean. And then we're using a limiter at the end to just push it up. It does sort of flatten it a little bit, but that's not always a bad thing, like as long as it can still retain enough punch. And then this is just going to glue the whole thing and make it that like big animated heavy kick, right? So there's the kick. So once you get that, then we have the main lead. So what we're doing here is it's this sort of evil call and response thing, right? And the secret here is call and response on like a lot of levels. Like you can see we got the call and response between dun 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 dun. So that's a call and response. But then there's also this one where we go like this chord to this chord. Right? So like there's a lot of things happening here that's making this kind of talk to itself. Even though it's such a simple melody, it's actually very complex how it's all working together. This is, so if you look at this, we're in the key of E minor. It's very simple E minor, right? Like just third, ninth root, right? Very simple, but then we add that, which would technically be a major seventh, right? Like one note down from the root, but we're in a minor key, so then you get this kind of evil sort of feel, right? And this scale is very useful for these types of tracks. Like you can do a lot with it. In this case, it's just walking through it, and then it kind of creates that evil feel. For the actual sound, it's 2 layers, so I'll go ahead and turn off all the processing. Here's the first layer. So we just got like a nice fat super saw, right? 2 saw waves. You can see they're super detuned. Like literally I have that at like very far away from the first oscillator. But then we're also using the unison all the way up. So it just becomes like a mega heavy unison saw. And then this is actually 2 different octave saws that are super detuned with no unison. So you get like a lot of octaves together, just creating this big, mega, almost like a Jupiter type of synth, right? And then we got a bit of reverb. 2 distortions kind of stacking up. They're both like only a little bit wet, but it comes together to make something heavy. Sidechain. And then a high pass. Then we have, there's just this little noise stab. It's just at the end of the little transition there. Right? It's just like a little way to make that happen. We have our drums, which there's only a few, right? Now, the thing with these is like you already have so much going on between that kick and the lead. I mean, that's taking up a lot of the frequency spectrum, so you don't need a whole lot of like rave loops and all this percussion. Just 2 hi-hats and a clap, right? Very simple. And you notice they're very high-pitched and kind of like small sounds that still have punch and groove, but they're not getting in the way. It's just all fitting together to create that insane groove. And it's all relative. Like if you understand that you have the kick so fat that, you know, the clap just needs to be a little punchy 909. It doesn't need to be this like big, heavy, distorted thing. And then the last thing here, which is very important for these types of tracks, is the vocal. Right, so what this is, it's a vocal sample, which I chopped up with, I'll show you, it's... Right, and then I'm slicing a new MIDI track by transient. And then just using those pieces to create one of these almost like very hardcore, very Schranz too, kind of like vocal chops, right? We're using a bit of distortion, some delay, quarter notes so it's like nice and spread out, sidechain, and then high pass. Very simple, but it's going to fit really well over that groove. It sounds like you're at the entrance to hell when you're listening to this. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You really just need to keep it simple, and it's all going to fit together really well. So that's how you do it. As you can see, keep it simple. Don't try to overstuff it with too many layers, and you should be able to make a sick track like this. It's not too hard. I just showed you how to do everything. Thanks for the support, everybody. Make sure to like this video as well as subscribe, and let me know what you think of this video in the comments. You can get this full template at the top of the description on my website. Definitely go grab that. You can make these kind of tracks yourself very quickly with this and make an awesome whole EP if you want to, even with it. Thanks for the support, everybody. Every little bit helps, so I can keep bringing you guys new videos like this, and I'll see you tomorrow with another one.